Hello, this is Plum Silver. I'm going to do a reading with a question that I had in mind. I said, I want to know about Gary Lineham. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing his name properly. And that's the Human Garage website that I've been sort of doing deep research, also using the exercise that they are bringing to the world and in the way that they've created this company, him and a few people together. I didn't know too much about who's behind all this, so I said, oh, you know what? I'm going to pull some cards and say, okay, who's this Gary Lineham? And I'm going to see, uh, just do a little reading and what this is all about. Well, you look at all these women here. You see, you got the Empress, the High Priestess, the Queen of Swords, and there's a young child, a little young woman. And I said, well, where's Gary? You okay? We got the Fool card here at the bottom, but that's just like where the future is. It's like sort of going to a journey that is unknown still, but there he is. He's Hermes. The ability to travel between worlds. I mean, between your fascia, and he's a messenger about how you could take those poses, the caduceus. He's an ambassador, tradesman trying to create coaches that are going to be showing, said, this is how you do the poses, and we're going to share you this wealth. And he's standing on this wealth. But there he is, Gary. He's a little small statue here. But look at these women here. So I had to find out, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll go on the website, and I did, and I dug into the old videos way back into the 8 years ago, and I found his wife. I said, all right, okay, often we say, behind a powerful man or a successful man, there's always a woman. Well, definitely there was, and her name is Anela. Divine guidance, a messenger, also with a very gracious name, Angel, in a way. And as an infant, as a young woman, here's our line here. It's a lineage, six of chalice. Often that card, we're going to look at it that way and say it's as ancestral. Well, I think it's because also being at the center, there's a vulnerable side as a child, but she was into gymnastic. This is about her, as much as Gary is like, really the showman here, standing on that table with the richness and all that wealth, and they really are probably doing very well, which is great. They deserve it because they put a lot of work into their passion, and when they met, that's what they created together. But I didn't know that she was behind the scene. But as a child, you could see even stretching the hair, combing the hair. Beautiful image there. These tarot cards here have a combination of Lenormand cards, because Lenormand cards, you will see the whip, and that card is, like, well, what do you do with a whip? You keep sort of like exercising. You repeat, you sweep, you do this, you're sweeping dirt. 10 of Wands, you're sweeping, you're working with energy. 10 of Wands energy, the wealth, and that's where it's a very strong card. Being 10, it's intense, it's not small. She came from an intense time also. There's the woman there saying, but her past, what's above her, it was an intense time. Number 10, also with the whip, wartime, because this is like a battle. It's like repeating. There was a very intense time where she's from. Like, also, she wrote, the High Priestess, she wrote a journal all her life, and she dreamed this world together for him, for Gary and Nella to come together. She wished him within a day. He showed up in her life when she was in LA through a long journey. I'm not going to go into the detail of her world or life, but you could see she did not tolerate fools. With the sword, that the Queen of Swords, you don't mess up with her. It's not like the King of Swords. The King of Swords, he's a little bit more, and then having that powerful Empress above it, it's like, oh my goodness. I mean, that's the very rich, very generous at the same time, but you need to do the work, and it's like you're gonna need to hold your and then she's holding the sword, and then so as Hermes is as an infant Hermes, he had a rapid development from what I was reading some of his story, and at his birth he actually stole the herd of cattle that belonged to Apollo, and he invented the lyre by stretching. Interesting, is stretching, like, or like you're talking about the entrails of the cattle to across a turtle to create the lyre. It's like, wow, and then the musical instrument he created, and he's known for that. And that messenger, the voice, the frequency of the instrument, symbol of peace, the ambassador for tradesmen holding the caduceus, Greco-Roman god of medicine, that symbol there, So here we have a really interesting read that show what's wrapping around Gary here. And don't be fooled because he's standing there like he's showing poses. Don't be fooled by how small, even if all these women are powerful above him. It's pretty amazing that she's right behind it, and I didn't even see that at first because that's who we see. And there you go. And also, I went to my playing card, and this one, as I was shuffling the cards, I said, oh, I'm going to just take one more for fun. And I like doing the playing card because you got the queen, the king, and all that. Well, the queen had to fall out, eh? I mean, yeah, it did. It just literally fell out, and it's the queen of energy, It's like money, wealth. Yeah, okay. So, and then also at the bottom of my deck, I got the wheel 10, intense, tense it, and then let the fortune will eventually come to it. And she wished it all. Like she wrote and studied about spirituality, exercise. Also, she was teaching yoga and exercise, but she manifested it, and she was in jail. I mean, it's like literally lived a life of being very on her own and really studying everything on her own. The high priestess knows how to get into the other sides of things, travel across between worlds with messages. These women are her, but it's a lineage, and she is basically was guided, and she's a messenger to tell you that we're all divinely guided to do the things that we can do in life. I'm just fascinated by seeing the intensity of this woman around Gary and the human garage. And, we don't really see it. There's a beautiful balance between the two of them, the feminine, because he's so humble. Like when even you see him, when he's actually doing moves with people, and you could just see him. He goes right into the people, and he closes his eyes, and you really sense that man is not like in your face. That's why he's much smaller, and he's here, and she's much bigger, but she's behind the scenes. So it's like, you don't be fooled by what you're seeing. This is a powerful, very interesting wealth that has been shared here, and I really hope they do well. And I had to really show you this because I had no idea we were dealing with a wonder behind. And that's kind of how I see the energy of woman, masculine and feminine together, how they can really create together something very powerful at the center that is, like that can grow as a child. And it's about a family. They united together to put this energy together. But the feminine dreams this world, and the man is capable to project it, but he's not taking a center position. He's bringing it in such a lovely way, standing at the table, and he said, look, this is what you do, and and you will feel better. You're going to feel the power behind it, your energy that is going to be right at your feet, and lighter too, because you got little wings on your feet. You see, that's what he's representing. All right, hopefully you like this, because I'm totally fascinated by the whole knowledge about fascia, because I think that the more we look into this, the more we're going to know about this energy and how it needs to flow. It's about movement and sharing your knowledge, and they are doing this, the Human Garage. Uh, anyway, hopefully you like this. Thank you.